Okay, so just get yourself ready for your restorative practice. So cover your mat over with a blanket. Have a folded blanket handy for your head. Have a bolster or two handy if you've got them. You can always use a rolled up blanket if you haven't got a bolster. So just get yourself ready for our basic relaxation pose, and we're going to do a sequence of poses that aim to just release shoulder, neck and head tension. So let's start off in our just basic relaxation pose. So you've got your bolster underneath your knees, the blocks underneath your feet, and then just make sure that you've got room to the side of you to stretch out so you're not being constricted by anything. And then just release yourself down into the floor. So just spend a little time just initially listening to the sound of the breath. Give yourself permission to be here. Give yourself permission to relax. Soften your jaw, soften your tongue, soften your throat. Spend a little time just allowing yourself to release into the floor. Just breathing evenly in through the nose and out through the nose. Mentally scanning the body for areas of tension. And allow the body to release into the tension, using the out breath to soften that tension until the tension disappears. Observe how the skin makes contact with the ground, and the body makes contact with the bolster and the blocks and the blanket underneath your head. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. And consciously relax the soles of your feet. And consciously release the soles of your feet. Draw your attention to the tops of your feet so that you become conscious of the skin. And consciously relax the tops of the feet. Draw your attention into your shins. And allow your shins to sink into the bed of the calf muscle. Draw your attention into your thighs and your kneecaps, and consciously relax the thighs and the kneecaps. Just relax the thighs and the kneecaps. Draw your attention to your torso and your arms and the hands. And consciously relax the torso, and relax the torso and your arms sinking into the floor. Draw your attention into your hands. And relax the hands into the floor. Draw your attention into your neck and your skull and relax your neck and your skull. Relax the muscles of the face. Release the muscles of the face. Okay, wriggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of basic relaxation. Bend your knees and then roll onto your side and sit yourself up. So for this simple supported back bend, if you've got one of these oblong bolsters, this is probably better. So you've got your bolster and then you've got your blanket. Just unfold your blanket a bit, and then I want you to just fold up. Let me just fold this better. Just fold it once down the middle like that, and then roll it up so you get a little kind of neck. You get a little roll for your neck, and then we're going to just come down onto the floor. You got that little roll for the blanket in your neck, just supporting your neck. So just roll it up a little, just to give you that little support in the back of the neck. It feels nice. And then just lift yourself up and then bring the bolster underneath your seat bones. So have the little roll for your neck. Don't have it too wide. If it's too much, because that could be a little uncomfortable. So just resting just on the floor with the little blanket rolled up underneath your neck. Just sit yourself on the bolster and then let your arms rest on the floor, arms shoulder height. So this should not be uncomfortable. If it is uncomfortable, then just adjust until it's no longer uncomfortable. Remember, comfort is paramount in this practice. Comfort and relaxation, so there should be no effort involved. Okay, in a moment we're going to just bring ourselves out of this pose. So the easiest way to do that is to lift your head a little, just slide the blanket out from underneath your head, and then just lift your seat bones, and then just move the bolster out of the way, and then come back down onto the floor. Stay on the floor with your knees bent and your knees together for a few moments, just to rest out your spine. And then roll onto your side, and then just bring yourself up into a seated position. So just have a blanket for your head. It doesn't have to be kind of a wide blanket or a thick blanket. It can be quite wide. And then have a block for between your knees. So I'll show you. So you can come down onto the floor. You keep your knees bent in a right angle. Bring your arms out to the side, and then just bring your knees over to the right side. Keep the shoulders down on the floor. Now, if it feels like you need some support underneath that leg, then you just put a bolster or just whatever you need underneath there so that you're not kind of overworking your back. So a block between your knees, maybe a bolster just to rest your knees on as they come over to the side. Let the feet fall apart and then rest your head on the side so that your chin is in the same direction as your knees. So remember that if this is uncomfortable for you, then just use greater lift under your head or underneath your knees. Otherwise, just rest along the floor. If it's uncomfortable to turn your head, then give yourself more. Hold your blanket over again underneath your head just to give yourself more support. Try and keep both shoulders down on the floor. And then very gently bring your head just back to face up towards the ceiling. Bring your knees back to the center. And then put the bolster over on the other side so you can support your knees if you need to. And then just let the knees roll over to the other side. Have your head in the same direction as your knees. And then just rest the shoulders. And again, just let the body just release into the floor. And then very gently bring your head back to just point directly upwards. Bring your knees to the center. Move the block between your knees. And then roll onto your right side. And then sit yourself up. And then just sit back on your heels for a moment. So we're going to do a supported child's pose. So you need 2 of these bricks for this. So we're just going to use these bricks like this so that we've got a little slope to kind of rest forward onto. You might also want a folded blanket over the top. So it's good to have one of these kind of wider folds and then fold it down the middle and then have it for your head, like have it along the top of the bolster like that. And then you're just going to come forwards, resting your head on one side and then letting your arms hang down. If it's uncomfortable in your neck, then have a block for underneath your elbows. So you're just going to come forwards, just resting your head on one side. Have some blocks for your elbows, or you can just let the arms hang down. So we're just going to stay down in this supported child's pose. So you can change the side of your head that you rest on several times, or just stay on one side and then we'll go over to the other. But just go with what feels good. So after you've been there for a little while, just lift the head and bring the head over to the other side. And then just continue to just alternate the position of your head. Just alternating the side of your head that you rest on. So just have your head on one side, then the other, like the evenness. So have the same number of rests on each side of the face. So this helps to just lengthen out the neck. Okay, and then just push your hands close to your knees, push yourself up into a seated position, and then just move all of your equipment out of the way. So you're going to have your oblong bolster, if you've got it, for underneath your chest, and a folded blanket for underneath your head, and then a bolster for underneath your knees. So just a folded blanket if you haven't got another bolster, and then you could put some blocks, or you could put another folded blanket underneath your feet. So it's the supported fish variation. So it's just bringing yourself down onto the lift. So you've got a bolster underneath your back, just like gently supporting the back, a blanket underneath your head, and then a bolster for your knees, and then just some support for your feet. So remember, it's important that you are comfortable. So if for any reason the pose isn't comfortable, just adjust until it is. Okay, and then just push your elbows into the floor. Try not to push your head up. Try and come up with your chest. So bring yourself up into a seated position, and then get your two bolsters if you've got them. If you haven't got two, then have you can support yourself with some extra blocks. So if you've got like a circular bolster and an oblong one, have the oblong one for your legs, and then get your blanket just underneath your head. So you can bring that blanket up to the top of the bolster, and then get your belt and put your belt into a loop, and we're going to just kind of tie our legs together so that you can really relax in this supported bridge pose. So you're going to sit yourself on the top bolster and then slip the belt around just around the tops of your knees. That tends to work pretty well. And then you're going to come down so that your shoulders come off the end of the bolster and down onto the floor. So you might have to just adjust the position of your blanket a little. So again, just comfort is paramount. So you might just have to adjust a few times to just release your back, but stay right on the tops of your shoulders. You can either have your arms just out to the side like this, or you can even rest your arms over your head. So just see which feels most comfortable for you. Remember that comfort really is the most important part of this. So just adjust until you feel as though you're in a position that you can remain in. And let go. If this is not comfortable for your back, then swap your bolsters around so that the softer oblong bolster is underneath your back and the harder circular bolster is supporting your legs. So the other alternative, if this is still not comfortable, you can fold your blanket up a little more, just to lift the shoulders a little higher. Okay, to come out of the pose, just bend your knees, bring your feet either side of the bolster, and then try and lift the seat bones up off the floor, and then just guide the bolster out from underneath your back, and then slip off the belt from your knees, roll onto your side, and then sit yourself up. And then we're just going to finish off in our basic relaxation pose again, just to kind of rest everything out. So have a bolster for your knees, have the blanket for your head, and you have the supports for underneath your feet as well, the blocks underneath your feet. And just allow yourself just to rest back into the floor. So this sequence allows the neck to be stretched without overworking. So it just helps to release your spine, release your neck and your shoulders and your head. Feel the weight of your body against the ground. Notice each place where you come into contact with the ground, and feel the support beneath you. Relax into that support. Observe the quality of your thoughts and emotions, and then find something in your immediate physical experience to be grateful for. Let it be something simple and tangible, such as your breath, the props supporting you, or the ability of your body to do this practice. Silently say to yourself, I am grateful for this blessing. Continue identifying immediate physical blessings, from the clothes you're wearing to the roof over your head. Taking a moment to truly feel and express gratitude for each item. Saying silently to yourself, I am grateful for this blessing. Move beyond your physical experience and identify other gifts. These may be your relationships, family, profession, health, past occurrences, and present opportunities. Nothing is too small. Taking a moment to truly feel and express gratitude for each item, and silently saying to yourself, I am grateful for this blessing. mind stops identifying items, hold them all in your heart and rest in the steady flow of abundance. Give thanks and then let go and return your attention back to your breath. And then just bring yourself back into this pose by wiggling your toes, wiggle your fingers. Just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, and then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. Straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in the Namaste, just a final spinal lift, drawing your breath down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this evening, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the gentle sequence of poses brings to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you just released out your neck, and it's good positive energy for the rest of the evening. So thank you very much.